Hi guys, welcome back. I am Anushree and you're watching Legathon. So the topic for today's video is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021. As you're already aware, we had posted a previous video on the topic should abortions be legal or justified. So in this video, we'll not be discussing about morality or humanitarian aspect involved in this act. We'll only focus on what is medical termination of pregnancy, what was stand before this new law came into picture, and what are the changes brought forth by this act. So without any delay, let's get into the video and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So what is MTP is a first question which we'll be answering. MTP stands for Medical Termination of Pregnancy, which is also known as medical abortions. However, in general, these are also referred to as abortions. There is a very substantial difference which is between abortion and medical termination of pregnancy. So in medical termination of pregnancy, abortion pills, medications or in rare cases surgeries are used to induce abortion or to bring about abortion. So this is the difference between abortion and medical termination of pregnancy. I hope that's clear. Now moving on to our second point, whether medical termination of pregnancies are legal in India. And the answer is yes, it's legal. Medical termination of pregnancy is legal in India since 1971 by virtue of Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. And this act was introduced way back in 1971 with simple objectives like to prevent women from undergoing unsafe abortions, to legalize abortions, reduce the maternal deaths who undergo unsafe abortions, and fourth, to protect registered medical practitioners who aid such pregnant women undergoing medical termination of pregnancy. Termination of pregnancies were legal in India since 1971. It doesn't have a blanket scope involved in it. It's not anybody and everybody who can go and get a medical termination of pregnancy. There are certain stringent conditions or legal requirements. If and when only fulfilled by a pregnant woman, she could get a medical termination of pregnancy legally in India. In order to understand or even appreciate the new act or the changes brought forth, it's very important that we understand what was the stand before this act. So under the old MTP Act, medical termination of pregnancy was legal only up to 20 weeks, that is to say 5 months, and only under the following 4 circumstances. Circumstance number 1 is when the continuation of pregnancy is a risk to the life of pregnant woman or could cause grave injury to her physical or mental health. Condition number 2, when there is a substantial risk that the child, even if it is born, would be seriously handicapped due to physical or mental abnormalities. Condition number 3, when pregnancy is caused due to rape, presumed to cause grave injury to the mental health of the women, that is the pregnant women. Condition number 4, when pregnancy is caused due to failure of contraceptives used by the married woman or her husband, presumed to constitute grave injury to the mental health of the women. So these were the only 4 conditions under which a pregnant woman who within the gestation period, that is within 20 weeks of pregnancy, that is to say 5 months of pregnancy, could undergo abortion legally in India. Now after understanding what was the stand under the old MTP Act, let's see what are the new changes brought forth by the 2021 MTP Act. The first major change is the raising of gestational period within which abortions can be legally performed. So under this there are 2 things which we'll have to understand. First, if the length of pregnancy is within 20 weeks, in such cases, opinion of one registered medical practitioner will be necessary to abort a baby legally. Second, if the length of pregnancy is in between 20 weeks to 24 weeks, in such condition, opinion of 2 registered medical practitioners will be necessary to legally abort a baby. However, it's important to understand here that these 2, under any of these circumstances, the registered medical practitioner should be of opinion that such a pregnancy is a substantial risk to health of pregnant women, or even if the fetus is born, would be born with a physical or mental deformities. Now, what was the stand before this is, earlier, if the pregnancy is in between 12 weeks to 20 weeks, only in such cases, one registered medical practitioner could give his opinion to terminate the pregnancy. Now this has been increased till 24 weeks. So from 20 weeks it has come forth to 24th week. Now let's see what is the second change brought. There is no upper limit under the new act. That is to say, if your pregnancy crosses 24th week. Even after 24th week, abortions are legal in India if the medical board is of such opinion. So a state government will have to constitute a medical board under this act, and the medical board shall consist of a gynecologist, a pediatrician, a radiologist or a sonographer, and such other person as state government may deem fit. So if the medical board is of opinion that even after 24 weeks a termination of pregnancy is necessary, then it can do so. Now let's see what is the third change. The third change is involving of unmarried women in the scope of this act. So the word earlier used was women and her husband. It has now been replaced with the word women and her partner, thereby legally recognizing consensual relationships out of matrimony. Thereby, even unmarried women who are pregnant can now undergo abortions legally in India. The fourth and the last important change is privacy and confidentiality of a pregnant woman. So that is to say, if a pregnant woman who is above age of 18 years wishes to undergo medical termination of pregnancy, she can do so, and her name and her identity or her details will be kept confidential, and if she wishes, she could choose not to reveal it to her own parents or her partner. So like every coin has flip sides, even this act has been criticized by many. One of the major criticism is that this act does not include any ways or means as to how is it going to prevent sex selection based abortions or female feticides, because there is nothing in the act which says how is it going to be stopped or prevented, which is eventually going to happen in a country like ours. And although there are laws which ban sex-based selection abortions or female feticides, it's a known fact and it's true that it is still happening in India. And I'm leaving the question open to you that how far is this new act going to empower women, or whether this will be a beneficial legislation. Do let me know what do you think of this in the comment section below, and see you in my next video. Until then, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.